Gunther taps out. Read that again, slowly, let it burn. The most dominant, most sadistic, most untouchable force in modern WWE quit in the middle of a WWE ring. No fluke roll-up, no lucky pin. He tapped. And if that sentence alone doesn't make your blood boil, then I don't know what will. Because the moment Gunther's hand hit that mat, WWE RAW stopped making sense, and at the same time, it made perfect sense. Let me ask you something right now before we go any further. Did you ever believe you'd see Gunther submit on Monday Night Raw? Or did you always think the Ring General would rather pass out, break bones, or get carried out before he ever said I quit? Drop your answer in the comments, because this moment has split the fanbase straight down the middle. Gunther tapping out wasn't just shocking, it was humiliating. This is the same man who chopped legends into retirement, who turned Intercontinental Championship matches into public executions, who prided himself on pain tolerance above all else. And yet, in one split second, his aura cracked. Not because he was weak but because someone was stronger. And that someone was Bron Breakker. Now here's where things get even more infuriating. Bron Breakker didn't just beat Gunther. He didn't just overpower him. He embarrassed him. Suplexes like car crashes. Spears that looked like they shortened careers. And when Gunther was trapped, lungs burning, muscles failing, pride collapsing, he tapped. But instead of celebrating a career-defining victory, what does WWE do? They suspend Bron Breakker. Yes. Suspended. Let that sink in. The man who just slayed the final boss gets punished, while the system once again protects its old hierarchy. WWE officials claiming excessive brutality. Excessive? Since when did WWE become afraid of violence? Since when did Raw stop being a battlefield? Here's the real question: was Bron Breakker suspended because he crossed the line, or because he exposed the truth? That Gunther isn't invincible anymore? That a new alpha just took his spot at the top of the food chain? Comment right now, was the suspension justified, or is WWE trying to silence Bron Breakker? Because make no mistake, this suspension isn't the end of Bron Breakker. It's the fuse. And when he comes back, he's not coming back calm. He's coming back angry, hungrier, more dangerous than ever. And while all of this chaos explodes on Raw, someone else is watching very, very closely. Finn Balor. The prince didn't kick down doors this week. He didn't need to. He smiled. He calculated. Because while monsters are fighting and management is panicking, Finn Balor is doing what he does best, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Finn Balor going for gold isn't just a storyline, it's a warning. This is a man who's been underestimated for years. A founding member of Judgment Day, a former Universal Champion who never truly lost his throne, and now with Gunther shaken, Bron Breakker suspended, and Raw in complete disarray, Finn Balor smells opportunity. Ask yourself this: is Finn Balor the smartest man on Raw right now? While everyone else is fighting with their fists, he's fighting with his mind. And let's be real, if Finn Balor gets another title shot, are you betting against him? Against his experience? His precision? His ability to turn chaos into championships? Because here's the terrifying part: WWE RAW doesn't have one problem right now. It has three. A broken Ring General, a suspended powerhouse with something to prove, and a calculated assassin aiming for gold. This isn't balance. This is collapse. And the WWE Universe is right in the middle of it. So I want you to think about this before the next Raw hits the airwaves. Who do you fear most right now, Bron Breakker, Finn Balor, or a desperate Gunther looking for revenge? Because one thing is guaranteed: nothing goes back to normal after a man like Gunther taps out. Share this video with someone who still thinks WWE is predictable. Drop your hottest take in the comments. And buckle up, because Raw just became Ring Rumble. And if you think this chaos is going to cool down next week, you're not paying attention. Because WWE RAW isn't spiraling, it's mutating. Gunther didn't just lose a match, he lost control. And that's the most dangerous version of him. A wounded Ring General isn't looking for wins anymore, he's looking for retribution. Every chop will be stiffer, every match shorter, every opponent closer to being sacrificed just to rebuild his shattered dominance. Ask yourself this honestly: what does a man like Gunther do after the unthinkable happens? Does he demand a rematch? Does he punish Imperium for failure? Or does he snap and turn Raw into his personal war zone? Because history tells us one thing: Gunther doesn't forget humiliation. And while Gunther simmers, Bron Breakker is forced to sit at home, watching everything burn on his television screen, watching his moment stolen, watching his momentum paused, watching the very company that profits off violence tell him he went too far. Too far? This is the same WWE that celebrated Hell in a Cell, that glorified steel chairs, ladders, and broken bodies. So why now? Why Bron? Here's a question for you: is Bron Breakker being punished for brutality or for being unstoppable? Because when he returns, there will be no apologies, no restraint, no hesitation, and whoever stands in his path, champion or legend, becomes collateral damage. But let's not ignore the man quietly sharpening his blade. Finn Balor. Every second Bron is suspended, every second Gunther spirals, Finn moves closer to gold. And unlike the others, he doesn't need chaos to dominate, he thrives in it. Finn Balor has been here before. He knows how to exploit cracks. He knows how to turn one mistake into a title reign. And if Raw hands him a championship opportunity while the locker room is divided, that's not opportunity, that's destiny. So answer this: does Finn Balor win gold because he's the best, or because everyone else destroyed each other first? Because here's the cold truth: WWE RAW doesn't reward honor, it rewards timing. And right now, Finn Balor's timing is flawless. And when Bron Breakker's suspension ends, when Gunther finally snaps, when Finn Balor pulls the trigger, Raw won't just change, it will explode. Drop your predictions in the comments. Who walks out on top? Who falls the hardest? And who shocks the world next? This isn't just another episode of Raw, this is war. And wars don't end clean, they leave scars, they create enemies, and they expose who was never built to survive in the first place. Look around the Raw locker room right now, nobody feels safe. Veterans are suddenly looking over their shoulders, rising stars are questioning whether now is the right time to step up, or the worst possible time. Because when monsters collide, the innocent get crushed. Gunther is walking with something to prove, not to the fans, not to management, to himself. That tap-out replays in his mind every single night. The sound of the mat, the crowd gasping, the disbelief. And trust me, that humiliation is fuel, pure, violent fuel. Here's a question you need to answer honestly: would you rather face Gunther before he tapped out, or after? Because the version we're about to see won't care about championships. He'll care about dominance, about fear, about making sure nobody ever forgets that moment by making them suffer for it. And while that storm is forming, the ticking clock on Bron Breakker's suspension keeps getting louder. Every week he's gone, the crowd gets more restless. Every week, the anger builds. Because fans didn't just see a win, they saw the birth of something unstoppable. WWE tried to pause it, tried to contain it, but you can't suspend a force of nature. When Bron Breakker returns, it won't be with a smile, it won't be with handshakes, it'll be with a spear that cuts someone in half and a statement that shakes Raw to its core. So let me ask you, who should be Bron Breakker's first target when he comes back? Gunther, Finn Balor, or the champion who took advantage of his absence? And that's where this gets terrifying, because imagine this scenario: Gunther demands redemption, Bron Breakker demands justice, Finn Balor demands gold, 3 paths, 1 prize, and a Raw that can barely contain them. Finn Balor isn't loud about it, but don't get it twisted, he's the most dangerous man in this equation, not because he's the strongest, but because he's patient. He survived NXT wars, main roster chaos, Judgment Day implosions, and championship heartbreak. He knows exactly when to strike. So ask yourself this: does Finn Balor cash in on chaos, or does chaos finally catch up to him? Because if Finn wins gold in the middle of all this madness, history won't remember how brutal he was, it'll remember how smart he was. And when the dust settles, when suspensions end, tempers explode, and championships change hands, WWE RAW won't look the same. The hierarchy will be shattered, new alphas will rise, old myths will die. One man already tapped out, one man has been silenced, one man is circling the throne, and you're watching it happen in real time. So comment your final prediction, share this with someone who still doubts what's coming, and stay ready, because the next explosion on Raw won't be accidental, it'll be inevitable.